Hello, I am Jan Runkle, a member of the League of Women Voters of the Greater Dayton area. I'm here today with candidates running for the Beavercreek City School Board. The candidates are Dennis Morrison, Jean Taylor, and Claire Chinske. We'll start our interviews by giving the candidates 1 minute to tell us about themselves and why they want to serve on the Beavercreek City School Board. Dennis, would you start for us?
Certainly. Hi, everyone. My name is Denny Morrison. Thank you for inviting me to say a few words here today. In 1991, my wife and daughters and I, we moved to Beavercreek because we believed that it was a great place to raise our family. We still believe this today. I served in Beavercreek City Schools as the superintendent for 7 years, and I've served on the school board for 8 years. The board is responsible for keeping the community informed about what is taking place in our schools. I'm running for the board because I have a vision for public education that combines the needs of children and the needs of the community. I want to be a board member that embraces servant leadership, that promotes labor peace, that increases staff morale, is committing the district to the highest academic ratings possible, and is completely transparent. I want to ensure that we deliver an excellent education to all Beavercreek students at a very low cost to the community. I want our schools to be the heart of the community.
Thank you. All right, Jean, would you tell us about yourself?
Hi, I'm Jean Taylor, and I'm running for re-election to the Beavercreek City School Board. I've been a resident of Beavercreek since 1978. Since 1980, I've been involved in the education of Beavercreek students through teaching, coaching, and for the last 8 years on the Beavercreek Board of Education. And for the last 6 years, I've been on the Greene County Career Center Board of Education as well. As a homeowner and a business owner of Jean Taylor Builders for the past 45 years, I'm deeply embedded and invested in the Beavercreek success. It's always been the best interest of Beavercreek community to see the success of Beavercreek schools. Good schools are a very important part of that equation. And my position on the board is to continue and ensure the success of Beavercreek schools. Thank you.
Thank you. And Claire, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you for hosting this forum. My name is Claire Chinske. I'm a resident of Beavercreek since 2016. I have 3 kids ranging in age from preschool up to a 2022 grad, and I have a background in accounting. I've always been very involved in volunteering in the schools. Immediately when we moved here, we founded a Lego League team at Ankeny. I've been involved with the band parent organization, the typical parent volunteering on field trips and whatnot. In a previous school district, I helped found a PTO and served as treasurer, and I would just like to continue to give back to the community. Make sure that our schools are the best possible. All kids are being served in the best possible way so that they can become the best citizens that they can and have all thrive in our environment and in our community to just make our schools the best that they possibly can be.
All right, thank you. I'll ask each candidate the same questions, and they will each have 2 minutes to answer that question. And then I will move to the next candidate and give them 2 minutes to describe. The first question is, describe the role of a school board member as you see it. And Jean, would you start us this time?
Okay, thank you. As a school board member, it's very important to know the things that you can do as a school board member and the things that you are not responsible for. As a school board member are 2 people that we monitor most closely is the superintendent, who we hire, and the treasurer, to make sure that the funding of schools is appropriate and following the right path. That is our direct responsibility, but our job is not to micromanage the school system and just make day-to-day decisions. That's for the leadership team of the schools. As a school board member, I spend a lot of time keeping my finger on the pulse of the community. And in my business, I'm often out and about with lots of people and local businesses that I work with. And I get to hear a lot about the school systems, about taxes, about the quality of education. So those things help me filter the decisions that I make. I'm also in touch with the teachers who are the employees who do the basic work of the school system, and also the students who certainly need to have a say about their concerns as far as the school is concerned. And all those become part of decision making on a day-to-day basis for the school board. Working through those things as a filter to make the decisions. So that is it.
All right, thank you. Claire, would you describe the role of a school board member as you see it?
Thank you. To me, I see the school board as advocates to the superintendent. You hold public meetings and listen to what the community has to say, make sure that they feel heard and that they get a response from the board back to know that their input is taken into consideration. As Jean mentioned, the hiring and firing of the treasurer are not day-to-day operations. As a current parent of students, I have an ear to the ground, if you will, on current day-to-day operations that could be potential feedback for the district, but wouldn't play any role in decision making, because the view is the overall health of the district, not focusing on individual problems or individual students. You have to make sure that we're taking the whole picture into account to make sure that our school is meeting the needs of all students.
Denny, would you describe the role of a school board member as you see it?
Yes, thank you. A school board member has three primary responsibilities. First, they have the responsibility of hiring/firing the superintendent of schools. Second, they have the responsibility of hiring/firing the treasurer. Those are the only two employees of the district that they should be evaluating. And then the third responsibility is they need to set board policy. The board should never be involved in the day-to-day operations of a school district. As a board member, our primary responsibility is to ensure that every student is challenged to excel and to achieve at his or her maximum potential. We must develop their skills. We must harness our resources, some of these resources from the outside, as well as some inside our organization. We must employ the best and brightest and focus on taking care of our students. The support of the community is critical to our district's success and will be earned through our effective, open, and honest communication and our demonstrated results. We have an obligation to preserve the community's assets and to provide a safe, well-maintained environment for learning. The administration, staff, and board are partners in the entire educational process for our students. Extracurricular and co-curricular programs and activities are an integral part of the educational process and can contribute positively to the character of our students while bringing sufficient recognition, pride, and support from the community. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, question number 2, and Claire, I'll have you start. As a school board member, how will you address parents' concerns?
Thank you. As a school board member, I would want to ensure that all parents feel that they're heard, that they get responses from the district when they do voice concerns, whether that be through email or speaking at board meetings, and so that the community knows that we are listening and responding to the things that parents are concerned about. And if parents bring concerns that are not necessarily school board issues, make sure that they're forwarded to the appropriate school employee, whether that be the superintendent or other administrative members.
Thank you. All right, Denny, would you answer this question? As a school board member, how will you address parents' concerns?
Yes, thank you. For our students to be successful, the student, the parent, and the school district all must work together. It's like three legs of a chair. You've got to have everybody working together. If a parent raises a concern to me, and I am fortunate enough to be serving on the Board of Education, that's something that definitely needs to be addressed. What I would do is I would listen to the concern that was raised. I would then refer the parent to the superintendent of schools. And while speaking with the parent, I would be in a listening, non-judgmental pattern where I would simply listen to the concern that the parent has raised. The superintendent can then resolve the issue or refer the parent to the correct individual in the school district that can give the response.
Thanks. And Jean, how, as a school board member, will you address parents' concerns?
When it comes to parent concerns, one of my things that I think about most is that a parent's child is their most important thing in their life. And that when they raise concerns, it's usually, to us, it's usually risen to a point that they feel that they really need to talk to someone who can do something about it. As a school board member, we generally don't get involved in the day-to-day operations of solving problems of parents. But what we do is we have a protocol, and a requirement that with that protocol is that issues are now passed to the person who can effectively work with those issues. And generally that starts with the superintendent, because he's the person in contact with all the other people. So that is, as a board member, that's usually our first response, is to go to the superintendent and find out. And a lot of the issues need to be investigated down through the protocol to make sure that the right people get to address those particular issues. So with that in mind, I know how important it is as a parent of 4 graduate Beavercreek students and 3 grandkids, is that issues are always on the table, and they come from a myriad of directions. And parents are one of the most important links in that chain. So that's how we address them. Thank you.
Thank you. Third question, and Denny, would you start? What do you see as the most important issues facing your school district?
Oh, excellent question. Our greatest concern is the educational welfare of all children attending our schools. Now, in Beavercreek, we have one of the finest superintendents in the state of Ohio, Mr. Otten. We have an award-winning and a fiscally prudent treasurer, Ms. Kitzmiller. We've got dedicated, hardworking administrators and staff. I want to make sure that we're continuing the already established tradition of excellence that we have. I want to continue the culture of universal achievement. I want to continue to target instruction through standards alignment. I want to use class and student goals to focus learning. I want to continue to close the achievement gap by closing the relationship gap. For me, I want to ensure that we're meeting the needs of every student. I want teachers to teach how kids learn best and differentiate their instruction. You know, our Beavercreek staff is very professional. They're already doing a great job there. But, you know, last year in our country, 51% of high school graduates went on to a 4-year college. 9% of high school graduates went on to a 2-year college, and 40% of high school graduates went directly into the world of work. We need to make sure that all of our kids are prepared for their future success.
Jean, would you answer the question? What do you see as the most important issues facing your school district?
The education of students are the reason that we're here. And everything that we do needs to be directed to the success of students. But there are a myriad of levels of that, being financial being one of them, educational quality being another, positioned in the community and the perception of the community being another one. Two of the big issues that we have in Beavercreek, of course, are our constant growth that we have. When there's a great deal of building going on, which directly relates to numbers of students. And of course, the effect of that is one, importantly, is financial. How do we deal with that? And that's always on the table for us. And two is, how does it affect the quality of education of students in Beavercreek? So growth and financing are always issues in Beavercreek. Beyond that, of course, the primary goal is to educate students to the highest quality that we can. And that means good management and good staffing and good communication with the community and the parents and our students as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then Claire, what do you see as the most important issues facing your school district?
As Jean mentioned, our district is growing rapidly, especially in the township area. And I think one of the largest issues facing our district is school funding. When the district is constantly worried about whether they have enough money to fund school operations, to make sure teachers and students have the resources they need, it takes tension away from other ways that we can help teachers improve and students improve in the classroom. I believe that the district could improve their communication about how school levies work. It is a complicated landscape. It is legally complicated as well. I believe that my background in accounting could help add to that situation and make sure that, we're explaining things in an easy to understand way so that the community understands why the schools need financial support, why the levies are structured the way they are, and how that affects the growth in our community.
In closing, we would like to provide each candidate with a minute for a closing statement. Jean, we will start with you. Would you please give us a closing statement?
Thank you so much. The Beavercreek community deserves the best from the Beavercreek City School System. The school system provides for the education and safety of the children of Beavercreek. As a school board member, I've always placed a high importance on ensuring that we have the best management team possible. It is through these teams that the management of day-to-day operation happens. Everything from curriculum to the management of the funding of schools. It's important to be good stewards of all the systems related to the educational and financial health of Beavercreek schools. As a board member, I work to debate and filter the items presented by the administration through the concerns of parents, students, and the community. Always the goal is to do what's best for the students and their educational experience in Beavercreek schools. And I'm Gene Taylor, and I'm running for re-election for a seat on the Beavercreek Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you. Claire, would you take a minute to give us your closing statement, please?
Thank you. I am hoping that I'll be given the pleasure of the opportunity to serve on the school board, help diversify the community that is serving our students, and making sure that they are getting the best opportunities possible, that we are connecting with the community and making sure that everyone feels heard, that the community understands the needs of the school district and the needs of our students and why the school district needs things like levies. Why busing comes up as an issue all the time, and why the why the district is growing the way it is, and how that complicates our needs. I feel so strongly about helping our schools and making sure that all students have the best opportunity possible for them to make sure that they're the best citizens that they can possibly be, that they're best prepared for their next steps in life, whether that's college, whether it's a career in a technical field. We have great opportunities here in Beavercreek, and I would just like to help continue to keep Beavercreek great. Thank you.
Thank you. And Denny, would you give us a minute of your closing statement?
Yes, thank you. And it's been it's been my honor and privilege to serve the district both as superintendent of schools and as a board member. I can tell you with the help of a lot of folks, when I became superintendent, we had an $11 million tax anticipation note, and we had enough money in our coffers to run the school district for 3 days. With everyone's help, when I left 7 years later, our tax anticipation note had been paid off, and we had $34 million in the bank. Each year, we earned the highest academic rating possible. Also, during that time, we grew by 1,100 students. We improved our bond rating to one of the best in the state of Ohio. This enabled us to refinance our bond issue debt, save the taxpayers millions of dollars. Every year also, our revenues exceeded our expenditures, and our expenditure per pupil was $1,000 below state average. I love Beavercreek, and I want to give back to the community. I can't go out and get a hammer nail and do things, but I can provide with my expertise in education. Thank you.
Thank you for your participation today. Good luck in your campaigns. The League of Women Voters encourages all candidates to run an issues-oriented campaign. Our goal is to educate the voting public and strengthen our elective political process. The annual Voters Guide will be distributed mid-October in the Dayton Daily News, AIM Media, suburban newspapers, and at local libraries, schools, and businesses. Early voting for the upcoming election begins October 11th at your Board of Elections, or you can request an absentee ballot. However you decide to vote, your opinion matters and helps make our democracy work. Thank you.